Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Corner. Welcome to Art Regner's video blog for FoxSportsDetroit.com. I have been sick for about a week now, and I had laryngitis and a really bad head cold, but I do feel much better today, and we are going to attempt to get through this, even though I'm still not at 100%. Hey, I'm a gamer, and I'm going to try to make it all the way through. Anyway, one of the things that I've been asked about repeatedly is the Detroit Lions. And, you know, I've said this for years, that if Super Bowls were measured in talk, the Lions would be perennial Super Bowl champions. And what I mean by that is that the Lions always seem to talk a really big game. And it's kind of troubling from the standpoint is that I understand at times where the Lions organization is coming from, where they're extremely defensive. They're a very defensive organization, and they don't really take accountability for much. They seem to pass the buck a lot. From their players all the way up to management, nobody really seems to say, yeah, you know, we've really struggled and we're trying to turn the corner. No one takes accountability, and I think that that's the biggest problem. As I said, they're a very difficult organization because they're so defensive. I can see at times where they're defensive because the first sign of trouble, everybody is saying, oh, same old Lions, same old Lions. Now, we can go on and talk about Ndamukong Suh. Do I believe that he intended to kick the Houston quarterback? Yes, I do. I think he did. I think the second little kick there was the one that really indicted him. You know, the thing with the traffic officer in Lathrop Village, I'm not so sure. I think we've all run into police officers, although I love the police. I do. I support you guys, and you know that. The Livonia Police Force, the best. You guys are right there for me. But, you know, I thought the guy was a little overzealous, to be honest with you, the police officer. But Ndamukong Suh is young and immature. And I think that that's the problem with the Detroit Lions. They are an extremely immature organization from players and from their head coach on down. I think Jim Schwartz really needs to grow up. Now, I hope he had an epiphany on Thanksgiving Day when he threw that second flag and took accountability. You know, from the moment he did, you know, on me, he was walking around. Because why this is important is this, is that Jim Schwartz had no choice but to take accountability. It's like when the emperor realized he didn't have any clothes on, Jim Schwartz was nude to the world because of that bonehead play that he did. But it goes to show you just how immature and emotional he is. From fist pumping to the Harbaugh handshake to being arrogant on interviews. I mean, Jim Schwartz, biggest fan is Jim Schwartz. I think everybody thinks that he's a good coach, and hopefully he's the guy to lead the Lions to the promised land. But the only way he's going to do that is by growing up and becoming mature. And I think maybe the humiliation of Thanksgiving maybe set in where Jim Schwartz finally realizes that I'm a growing man in charge of a football team. Maybe the beginning is Titus Young Sr. by suspending him. Because you have to have accountability. And right now, the Detroit Lions don't have accountability. They just don't. They kind of run it wild and free, and no one's giving them the benefit of the doubt in the NFL. Nobody. No one. Everyone looks at the Detroit Lions as a bunch of renegades, guys who go off half-cocked, and basically a dirty football team. You hear that from everyone. But the Lions will continue to talk. Ndamukong Suh does not take full responsibility for his actions until 4 or 5 days later, which only makes it worse. Jim Schwartz, extremely defensive. Dominic Raiola won't shut up. I really don't care what these guys are like off the field as long as they're not breaking any laws. Seriously. I just want this team to shut up and win football games and become accountable. Because right now, it's everybody's fault but the Lions. It always has been this way. So when you hear same old Lions, and you're wondering, oh, everyone's going to do this, you know, enough. You actually have talent. You actually could be a good football team. Your coach has to grow up, and the players have to grow up. But the players are not going to grow up until they have an authoritative figure take control of that room and lay down the law. And that guy is Jim Schwartz. He has to do it. Not Scott Linehan and not Gunther Cunningham. I know that they were head coaches. Look, Gunther Cunningham last year said that the league was going to have to change their rules and their policies towards Ndamukong Suh because he was that good. Back then, I wrote for FoxSportsDetroit.com, the NFL's not going to change for anybody, Gunther. You're dreaming. So he has enabled Ndamukong Suh. And that's what. Everyone is enabling everybody. This team has to put it all aside, shelve the talk, and go out there and play football. Your two best players, which really are Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, seem to get it and seem to understand. I don't know if it's in Calvin's nature to be a real leader or a vocal kind of guy, but you know what? His play speaks for itself. Matthew Stafford probably has to up it a notch, but he gets it and he understands the situation here in Detroit. The rest of you guys, you're all immature crybabies. All of you. You just don't seem to get it. Maybe not all of you. You know, there's a couple guys that are good. I get a little too emotional. You know, when you're getting off your cold meds, I mean, you get wild mood swings. But with all that said, I do think the problem is accountability. And I think it's always been accountability on the Detroit Lions. And I think that Jim Schwartz, by getting that penalty, and hey, look, the rule is stupid, and I know that they're going to change it, but a rule's a rule, and he said he knew it, and he stood up like a man and took accountability for it. Hopefully that's a start. Hopefully that's a beginning. Titus Young Sr., I don't know what's going on with that guy, but he shouldn't be the scapegoat. If anything, he should be the catalyst for this team and this organization to finally grow up. Because that's what the Detroit Lions need to do. They need to grow up on and off the field, including their head coach. If that happens, then maybe, look at this. The Lions, today's USA Today printed the odds for football teams winning the Super Bowl. I guess it's too small, you really can't see it. The Lions are 200 to 1. 200 to 1. Well, we've been down that road before. And it'd be nice if we go down a different road with this team. So Lions, do me a favor, do yourselves a favor, do the community a favor. Grow up. Just grow up. If you grow up, it's amazing. When you take accountability, when you stand on your own 2 feet and say, yeah, man, hey, I screwed up. I'm sorry, I did. Won't happen again. And then live up to your words, then maybe this organization, maybe this team is going to turn it around. Because if it doesn't, and you're allowed to run wild and free like untamed Mustangs or something, then you're never going to go anywhere. Anywhere. Period. Well, I'm glad I got that off my chest. I feel a lot better. So hopefully the Lions, this is a beginning. Hopefully, as I said, Schwartz had an epiphany on Thanksgiving Day, and that this team is ready to become a consistent winner in the NFL. I know when you say winner in Detroit Lions, a lot of us Lions fans, even though I'm Lions free, just doubt it. They have to prove it to me. And the only way they're going to prove it to me is by shutting up, zip the mouths, be accountable, and go out there and perform like a football team with dignity and class. I know that football is controlled mayhem and chaos out there, but it's controlled. If you continue to play uncontrollable, you're not going to go anywhere. So think about it, Lions. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Art Regner's video blog. Welcome back. We'll see us very, very soon because I'm also going to be doing football picks. So not a good week last week, but still above 500. Until we meet again, have a safe and pleasant one, everyone. I'm Art Regner. See ya. Bye-bye.